I have the insert rack in there, and I'll be putting my first cake in. There's 6-inch cakes. I'm gonna set it to 350 like a normal cake. And let's start with 20 minutes. Because they're fairly thin cakes. That's a taller round. That's a 3-inch, but that's a 2-inch. I put a 2-inch in there. I start 20 minutes. See what happens. 10-minute mark, golden. Still puffy, so it probably needs a little bit more time. Yeah, I'm gonna put the lid back on, maybe do 5 more minutes. I'm gonna do the skewer test after about 2.5 minutes extra. Hold her, focus. Okay, here we go. Clean, good. First one done, let me take it out. This is the first cake I made in the air fryer. I cooked it on the rack in its pan. It did rise quite significantly, so maybe a cake strip might work better this next time. It has a nice golden brown top to it, and it's nice and soft. We'll see what the next one turns out like. Last one, I put the what's it called, the rack back in. It's another 2-inch high cake pan, and I noticed this bake button, so I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna set it to 10 minutes only because the cake pan is darker in color, so I don't want it to brown, and then if we need to, I'll go up on it. I'm gonna drop this down to 350. Let's see. So this is the last cake. It just finished after, I believe I said 10 minutes? Can't recall. We'll go back to the other video. I did check it halfway through. I didn't record that part because I had a visitor. This is the cake so far. We'll do a skewer test. Like I said, the time is completely done, and I checked it halfway just to kind of eyeball it. Okay. Skewer. Looks a little moist still. Let me do some more here. Oh yeah, definitely not done yet. We're gonna go for at least a couple more minutes. Realization, it's cooking the top nice, but not in the middle. You can see it's still raw there. I ended up taking out the rack. I'm gonna try and cook it a couple more minutes again, but this is gonna definitely need another experiment. So I removed the last one from the air fryer, the last cake. This was the one I did on the bake setting. Earlier I had stuck the skewer through it and it was raw in the middle. So I took the rack out, that rack, and I just put the pan down into the air fryer as is, put it back to bake for an additional 4 minutes to hopefully cook the middle. Hopefully getting the air to circulate from the bottom. I don't know. I just moved it away because it was cooking more from the top than it was from the bottom. So you could see that it browned more because it was close to the top for the majority of the bake time. Sticking the skewer in now, it's coming out clean. This is definitely not going to be pretty, but yeah, this is just to see at this point how the crumb is. This middle section probably will not look very good, but it's not coming out wet anymore, which is good. So we'll see what happens. So this was the last cake, the one that I did in the bake setting. This one also fell out of the pan fairly easily. The bottom feels nice and soft and fluffy. I can compare it to the other cake, the first one. And flip it over. It did dome as well. Again, I think using a cake strip would be beneficial in the case for these. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half, and I'll cut the first cake and we'll see how the inside looks. So these are the two semi-successful cakes cut in half. This is the first one. The crumb is nice and soft. A little bit underdone here though. I'm gonna try a piece of the cooked part. Yeah, it's really nice and really soft and moist. Nice and fluffy, not dry at all. Has a really nice texture. Like I said, though, there are some underdone bits. Now this was the air fried one. This is the baked one. And both of these are baked on the rack in the air fryer. So the baked version, the middle part I pointed out earlier, obviously looks a little raw. I mean, it's cooked now, but kind of. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Anyways, the sides are baked. I mean, it's browned more, didn't rise as much. The sides, the outside of the cake feels nice and fluffy as well. Still tastes good. So I think I would like to do a little bit more experimentation on this. Definitely nix the water bath. Next time I'm going to try air frying these without the rack, just putting the pan straight into the air fryer, and hopefully also I'm going to try them with some cake strips as well to see if they lift more evenly versus doming, and hopefully that should be good. So we shall see. But so far this is a good first experiment, but definitely needs some tweaking.